In part 3 of the Singleback spread scheme, we're going to take a look at the play Switch Smash as well as bubble screens. So let's start off with Switch Smash. It's actually the only play where I manually motion someone. You can do it on runs, you can do it on other things. I don't really do a lot of motioning of, a slot guy to the other side. So it's really the one play. It can be a little bit of a tell, but to be honest with you, nobody's really faced much Singleback spread. You don't see many people run it. So I can get away with the fact that it's the only play that I motion, because by the time the game's over and they realize that that's the only play, well, now it's too late. So what we're going to do is we've got the C route on one side of the screen. We can flip this, obviously undetected. We can flip the Singleback spread so that the C route's on the left, the C route's on the right, and they're not going to know any better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to motion the opposite slot guy, put him on a drag, and motion him over to the side of the C route. This is going to allow for 3 quick passes against a heavy blitz. Triangle, X, and then what you're going to see with square. Now if they end up playing coverage, then circle is a really nice last resort bailout. Love any type of deep in or in routes of any kind, especially out of this spread. We're going to take a look at that in the next play as well. So let's take a look at square to begin with. Now the first thing I want to let you know is I'm either going to throw to triangle right away, or I'm going to wait until he sets. There's a little bit of a dead zone with flat routes, where if you throw it, the guy into cover 2, no matter what flat he's in, he'll come down and he'll play it really hard, or you're going to run out of bounds. So I'm either going to throw it to triangle right away, or I'm going to wait until he sets. So in this case, the user is covering the slot, and I just need to be a little careful. At this point, I see, okay, he's not covering the C route, so of course I'm going to take the more yards. That's obvious. That's step number 1. Now here we're going to take a look at something a little more glitchy, focusing again still on square. We've got X, we've got triangle. There are 2 quick passes that go in opposite directions. But what we need to do here is we need to focus on that slot defender in between triangle and X. It's going to be one of the 3 reads, really, really quick. Let's take a look at what we can do out of the Singleback spread to square. Look at the slot defender. He pulls to the outside. All we do now is low pass or just a regular pass. There it was a regular pass, and we're good to go. Here we motion the guy over. We see that there's a space. We low pass, and we're gone with a rat catch. Take a look at it again. Slot defender, we see he blitzes. Low pass, we're good to go. It doesn't always have to be a low pass, right? But certainly it's something that you want to take advantage of, especially to your more agile receivers. Here again, he cuts to the inside, throw a low pass, and we're getting a ton of yards. Now, I would just like to say here real quick, we're going to go and we're going to look at the play art real quick. You don't always have to motion the slot guy over. It's the one play where I do motion, but it's not something that you have to do, okay? Damn, it always does that. It always do that really, really quick. But here, as you see, again, another low pass. We don't need to motion the guy over. As long as we've got the room, we can low pass right there. And when you get the 99 receivers or the really top of the line, agile, great route running receivers, this is the type of thing that you're going to get. Backed off coverage, cover 1, low pass to the ground. He ends up scooping it up, and he's gone. Absolutely love this. This is not something that you can do with a shotgun because of the delay in the snap. And also, I've looked at Y trips, etc., to try to get this same concept. But what's happened is this particular C route is at a different depth. It cuts at a different depth. So this is going to allow us to low pass to this route really, really quickly into the open space. And as you can see, pick up the yards, even with a non-agile guy like Eli Rogers. So here we flipped it and we've motioned over to the right side. Now, as I said, this is the only play where I do motion. So if you're playing one-off games against opponents where they only are seeing the scheme for the first time, you can certainly get away with this. When you start playing people maybe a second, third time you're in a CFM, they're in your division, something like that, obviously they're going to catch on. There's a lot of things that you can do with motion. You can call a regular halfback draw or the 0-1 trap that we're going to look at, and you can do the same kind of motion him over, let him set, and then snap the ball, and you can do a little bit of extra blocking. On deep outs, or even the play smash, there is a lot of things that you can do. On the play smash, I like the ability to have both sides of the field available, right? With that concept of if they're in a cover 2, I can throw to a corner or underneath and then have R1 over the middle. I like that because if they're using one side, I can just throw to the other. But it doesn't mean that you can't run the smash concept and then, let's say, have X on a corner, circle on his little hitch route, and then put put triangle on an in route or on a drag route. You know, things like that you can do. Put square on a smart routed out route. Just little things to change it up and make basically what it is that you're doing disguised. But in one-off games, they're certainly not going to be able to defend this, especially just look at the defender. As soon as he goes out, I know right now this is a low pass. It's the easiest thing in the planet. Take a look at Rogers. He still gets to 10 yards. We don't motion over. We wait, and we just hit that flat route. It's that simple. Now here we motion block because we felt like they were going to send a ton of pressure on the one side. We end up motion blocking, so we're good to go. Now here's an example where I mix it up on the guy. Just kind of labbing and seeing. Obviously it's the first quarter. He hasn't really seen much of what I've done yet. But I want to see how well circle and X play together, because circle's on the corner route and then X is going to become basically a delayed flat route because he's on a drag and he's going to play underneath. And I just kind of want to get a peek at, can I throw to circle? Well, based on the defense and the way that they're playing, they would have played circle really, really well together. So I'm just going to take the underneath drag. If the guy had played underneath on the drag, then it would have been fine to just be able to hit the corner route. Now here, we're going to take a look at, again, just hitting the drag. This is the 3 quick pass concept that I'm talking about. Okay, snap the ball. He's in the area waiting for square, so that's a no-go. We've got triangle, which, we certainly can throw to him, but I feel like that defender, we're only going to pick up a couple yards. So it's 1, 2, 3. And there's the route that we're going to take right there. Absolutely love this play a lot. A lot. I mean, it's so hard to really defend spread. If you know what you're doing offensively, it's really, really hard. And as you can see again right there, we take this route upfield for not a ton of yards, but still for a decent amount. We're looking at quick reads. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So circle's not going to be an option. Can't low pass that to the inside. There's a defender there. Triangle, he's user covering, and now it's covered by that guy. So we have 2 options. We've got to look at the pressure, of course. We've got X or we've got square, but he's over the middle of the field protecting against square. So we just take the flat route. It is that simple. It's basically understanding when your opponent is blitzing, when he's not. Obviously, we don't just want to spam square all day. Could I have maybe gotten that pass off? No, because that's right into a defender. And again, we should be taking the flat here because he's covering the drag. The inside guy is covered. One of them is going to be open. It doesn't matter what type of defense it is that you're playing, somebody's going to be open. Now here, and I understand I talk a lot. If it's too much for you, I'm just trying to keep up with the gameplay and not have the video be too long. I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can. That's my job as somebody that's going to give you tips. So that's just the way it's got to go. Now here, without a defender on the right slot, over top of the right slot, I'm going to look for a high pass first to X. Then we're going to look at triangle. Then we're going to look at square. And then we're going to look at circle. That's how this play is going to go. So we look at that defender. Obviously, there's no way that we're going to be able to throw to X. Now we're going to look at the drag. There's no way that we're going to be able to throw the drag. Now we're going to look at square. And really, that's a tight throw. Probably could be able to complete it based on what I see here real quick. But no, we have to take circle. And that's the importance of circle, because you are going to be facing situations like that where they do cover. And I'm actually going to go back and take a look at this one more time. So, nope, they take that away. They take the drag away. They take the corner route away. The pressure is coming, but it's a bleacher blitz, which means, you know, from pretty good depth. And then circle. That's a nice bailout route. This type of route, deep ins, absolutely fantastic over the middle of the field. And there you go. So now we're going to take a look at bubble screens. And this is something that I've been screaming at all year for people to run against nickel blitz. It's like it's wild. Like, tournament players are very stubborn people. They just like to do what they want to do for whatever reason. Bubble screens absolutely kill nickel blitz. Absolutely kill nickel blitz. Now, this particular bubble screen, I will admit, sometimes for whatever reason, the outside blocker, he's not quite as good as, say, Gun Trip's tight end or any of the trio bubbles. All you have to do is look for the side of the cornerback, not the linebacker. When it comes to nickel blitz, okay, there's going to be a lot of people that are and this isn't particularly a nickel blitz from the nickel normal. This could be from nickel 245. You want to look to the side of the corner. Some people will base the line, bump, pinch the defensive line, and then shift the linebackers to the opposite side of the blitz. The key is, even though they could be blitzing the linebacker on the other side and sending a ton of pressure, you want to look at the side of the blitzing corner. And that is the side that we want to attack with the bubble screen. This is a double bubble. So even though we flip it, and I do like to flip it to make sure that my main target, my number one, which is the guy highlighted in red, I want to make sure that he's on the side. As you see right there, he blitzes in, and now we've got a block right there, and we're good to go. It can be a little finicky at times, but you want to have, you know, the better agility of the guy that you have there, the more success you're going to have. Now for me, as you can see, I've got Gronkowski here, and when I'm using the Steelers, I've got Ladarius Green and Martavis Bryant. You can sneak in, you know, do a little bit of a switch, change your personnel, get like an Antonio Brown or an agile guy in the slot just for a play. You know, it doesn't matter. And if you can't run the bubble, then just audible to a different play. No big deal. You know, having a Antonio Brown in the slot isn't that big a deal for one or two plays, and they're probably not really going to notice. And as you see right here, we pick up a ton of yards because they blitz on that side, and we throw the bubble. We just basically can throw the bubble to the opposite side of the user. Okay, so that's what we're going to look for. See the red? That's the target that you're going to want to hit mainly. That's the better option. So you can flip it undetected, right? So let's just say we're like, oh, we want to run this to the right. Well, flip it, and now the main target, the first read, is triangle. And the way that this works is triangle is going to run out a little bit quicker than X. So it gives you the ability to look at triangle for a split second quicker than X, and then X is going to make his move to the outside. Let's take a look. Watch. It's just, there's a little bit of a delay. I know it might not look like it. It might not look like it, especially on that play, but there is a bit of a delay. And we also can do exactly what I done out of stick, which is just drop back and then run right up the middle of the field if they've got both sides covered. We're going to go back and we're going to take a look at that one more time. The QB runs. So we're going to look at the user defender, and we're going to look at just kind of the whole area of the field. Now they've ended up manning up both inside guys on triangle and X. So because of that, and because of what I see wide open right in front of me, I'm just going to take the free easy yards and run with my quarterback. All you have to do is snap the ball, stand there, don't move, just stand there. Make your read. Read triangle, read X. You know, there's two defenders that are kind of playing out there. There's no need to really take a shot there. So all we do is run up the middle and we take those free easy yards. Hope you guys enjoyed Switch Smash and bubble screens. I love it. This is a fantastic scheme. And like I said, I will post the video of me in practice mode showing the audibles out of the 3 formations that I use along with single back spread. See you guys soon.